You don't need to know anything about cricket. Just watch this play and tell me what you think. It's brought to you by DraftKings. Thanks for sponsoring. Grabs it, throws it up in the air. Hot potato to himself, back into the play, catches it, puts his arms up like, what do you got? Pause the video, leave a comment, reply below. Do you think that should count as a catch, or do you think it should not count as a catch? Before you know the rule, what do you just naturally think? Now, I'll show you what's going on. The refs are going to get together. The umps are going to be like, and the other team is like, no. And they're like, hold up. We're going to talk about it. Okay. Hey, man, what do you got? Do you remember the rule? No, let's just ask above. Yeah. Why don't you just call them up and say, like, can you guys read the rule book and tell us what that is? So they go up top. Meanwhile, the player who caught it, he knows it's a catch. His teammates are like, hey, do you think that's going to count? He's like,
yes, that's what Renshaw did.
Yeah, he knows. He's seen it before.
Because Renshaw had that one. Rennie had one.
And you're like, wait, who's Renshaw? Well, back in 2020, his teammate on the Brisbane Heat did a very similar thing. Caught the ball, but was going to stumble, threw it up, and then batted it to his teammate who finished the catch. He's like, what up, yo? Did that. And this guy remembers it clearly. Look, up in the air, out of bounds, jumps up, feet off the ground, bats it to his guy. His teammate catches it. Good backup by Banton, his name was. So this is the same team, same league, and it happened. So this guy, Nesser, is that how you pronounce it? He knows it's a catch. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was all over it. So watch. Throws it up in the air, and this fan is like, oh, dude, you blew it. But he knows he didn't blow it, throws it back up. Jumps back inbounds and completes the catch. Says, oh, would you look at me? You like that? Now, the rule says a fielder who is not in contact with the ground is considered to be grounded beyond the boundary if his final contact with the ground before his first contact with the ball after it has been delivered by the bowler was not entirely within the boundary. Now, there's no way in the world any human would ever be able to read that and say, I get what they're saying, because it's in legal speak and it makes no fucking sense. Now, thankfully, they clarified it. It's important to note that as long as the fielder's first touch of the ball is inside the boundary line, which we have, that's his first touch right there, and his feet are inside the boundary line, they are allowed to finish the catch however they like, provided their feet are not grounded with the ball over the boundary. So one difference is the way I know the word as like grounded out of bounds versus the way they use it in cricket. To be grounded doesn't mean your feet are on the ground. It means your feet are on the ground and also touching the ball. So he throws it up before his foot touches the ground, and then he's got to touch this one, and his feet can't touch it. His feet can't touch the ground and the ball at the same time. So watch what happens here. It's literally one frame. His foot's on the ground, no ball. Foot's on the ground, no ball. Foot's on the ground, no ball. But the ball is right above his hands. And now the next frame, when the ball is in his hands, his foot has come off the ground. So technically, he's not grounded. Basically, he just doesn't exist. It's like a blip in the system. And then by the time his foot touches the ground again, the ball is out of his hands. Now he's back in grounded. It's a really odd rule. I don't think I like it. I think I'd rather it be that at this point, instead of throwing it up to himself, he knows his momentum is taking him out of bounds. He's just got to chuck that backwards up in the air to his teammate. Now, for those that don't understand cricket, that would still save the automatic 6 points or the automatic 4 points if the ball goes outside the boundary. It's 4 points if the ball goes outside the boundary or hits the boundary. It's 6 points if it goes, and I should say runs, not points. It's 6 if it goes over the boundary on the fly. So if he has to just chuck this backwards and a teammate can catch it to complete it, and that's the out, I like that. But I don't dislike this. It's still fun. It still makes for acrobatic plays, but he's so far out of bounds, it does seem kind of easy. And can a guy just do this forever? Like, could he have done this twice, 3 times? Because I think that would be wild to see. But again, I don't know if that's good or bad. Doesn't seem like a catch to me, but they ruled it out, and the ICC came out and said, nope, that's the correct call. It's out. and he gets to celebrate. So what do you think? Now that you know the rule, do you think they should change the rule? Do you think he shouldn't be allowed to do it? Or is it fun? Either way, this one was brought to you by DraftKings, and I thank them for sponsoring the video. And shout out to Pete the Moylan for lending his services and being my voice actor for my Australian voice.